How are you?
How are you? Mwah, you look lovely.
Thank you.
Wow.
Had to dress for the occasion.
I wish I had put on some lip gloss.
How are you doing?
I'm well. I'm taking time out to be hijacked. I haven't had such a good offer in a very long time. So here I am.
That too, picking you up from a hotel.
Yes, my God. I love it. I'm so excited about your YouTube channel.
Thank you.
Bravo, my God.
Thank you so much. I think it's just one of those things that have been in the pipeline for the longest, and I'm finally brave enough to actually go ahead and do it.
You've always been brave. I think you were a little shy.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. But just brave enough to venture into something new.
Well, with that new hair color and you start dyeing your hair and the lipstick and everything, it's doing just fine.
Thanks. Oh,
Looking great, mashallah. Say.
thank you.
Please take your nazar out. I'm a firm believer in nazar.
I am too.
Lagti
now.
rehti hai.
That is true.
People have unkind things to say about people.
Everything.
Yes, generally.
Everyone.
But let's not talk about negativity.
Tell me, when did you get into Lahore, man? I was waiting.
I got in on Sunday. Yeah, it's a very, it's a pre-Eid thing. So thank God today, I don't know what happened. There was a lady that wanted to have her color and then she's rescheduled it for another time. So the slot was open. So I said, don't give it to anybody. But, it's always a huge rush just before Eid because you're, constantly... Everybody wants to do everything last minute. कि मुझे आखिरी appointment चाहिए, आखिरी appointment चाहिए.
Haan, closest to Eid, so that we can look our best on the day.
So lots of colors this trip because everybody wants to freshen their color before Eid. I guess, that's how it's at the salon.
Well, now I'm rid of sitting in the salon chair.
But how gorgeous does your grey... I've made so many people go grey in the last couple of years, especially since COVID started. And it suits everyone. I mean, I think it's looking fantastic on you.
Thank you.
It really, really looks... I mean, you look great. I mean, that's a major upkeep to keep doing roots.
It is.
So in COVID, people realized a lot of things. Even I realized a lot of things. I was just like, why do we have to do all of this all the time? And I think I've always been a low maintenance kind of person. Especially with clients, I like low maintenance hair.
You do.
Because our Asian hair, the kind of stuff that we like to do to it, you have to have low maintenance hair because otherwise people. Everybody will start looking like me.
I remember you advising Maram once that she should, just let it fro.
Yeah.
Because you saw her curls and you're like, just why would you?
Because, I'm a naturalist. I believe in natural. I love natural. I don't like all this lip augmentation and nosy jobs, and I'm not one for that. I like a character nose. I like thin lips also,
And you like, if hair has whatever texture,
sure.
own it.
Yeah, learn to embrace what you have and make the best of it. Everybody can look good. Our problem is we don't want to look good. We want to look like each other. Yeah. And that's not a good look.
Never
because
is.
Everybody ends up looking the same. I mean, even in the industry, at one point, before Photoshop, everybody used to look individualistic. Now, with Photoshop, everybody looks even the same because they all have that same complexion, the same intense... it's just... I can't even recognize people. When they come in front of me, after seeing them in a picture, I don't believe a picture anymore. Before, I used to believe in pictures. I can't believe a photograph anymore. Because it's not what it is. That's why I can't take a picture anymore because I used to love film, like working on film, and what you see is what you get.
Yeah, but then came digital.
Yes, and when you shoot in digital, everybody's like, "Oh, baad mein theek kar lenge," and I'm just like, "Mujhse maine nahi khelna."
I know.
So for me, people like Arif, someone who still uses black and white film. I mean, it's amazing because the results are what you see, and that is the photographer's eye.
Yeah.
I feel. I mean, anytime I can get my hands on some film, I love taking. I mean, the maximum I do is use my phone camera, which is only because of the pressure of Instagram. But और क्या कर सकता है बंदा? I don't. I mean, the shooting, everything looks the same to me. Everybody looks the same. There's no individuality. They can't. Sorry.
No, carry on.
Normally people can't handle the fact that a man is sitting and a woman is driving. So everybody
can you
gets
believe
freaked out.
we still have to we
have.
have this issue still in Pakistan.
Of course we do.
And it's changing, hopefully.
I hope so. Not in my lifetime. Not gonna hold my breath. That's for sure.
I think that's what we've all been doing.
Half my life is gone. I've had a great life, mashallah. Say next year is going to be 40 years of me being in this industry. It's a long time, 1983 to 2023. It's a long time.
What a ride!
Man, it's been bumpy now and then, but generally it's been a good ride.
You have no idea.
But it's been a good time. I mean, I've traveled, I've had every kind of experience that you could think of. I've done every shoot and cover and ding dong ding, so it's just nice to just do now what I want to do, which is not everything. That's for somebody else to do now, and I'm cool with it.
And that obviously comes with once you've done everything. Then you're like, okay, now I can...
No, the hunger for work is still there. Yeah? But I want to do the stuff that I want to do.
Yeah.
That things are on my bucket list.
Yeah.
I can be choosy now. Before I used to, you do everything because you want to just do everything.
Yeah.
And now I do stuff, like I said, I mean, there's so many things I say no to. So many, aap acting karenge? And I was just like... but if it's it's always, I've said yes 1,000 times, but it's always a negative role of somebody who's bashing their daughter or slapping their wife, and I'm just I don't want to be that person. I don't even want to portray that person.
You don't want to promote it either.
And nothing, we can do nothing positive. I mean, positivity is something that I'm a very positive kind of a person. I'm a happy person, I'm a positive person, but everybody seems still, after all this time, seems a little petrified and a little like, dang, dang, chick, chick, dang, dang.
Yeah, they still want
I'm like a thriller movie still, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they stereotype people as well. And because perhaps they've seen you being extremely theatrical in your music videos.
Maybe.
In those appearances,
sure. Isse to dar
lagega. He can play that part. He can play the villain.
Once you've been Dracula, then you're a pretty bad dude. So, but I'm funny. I'm a very funny person.
I know. And
I'm pretty hysterical. I mean, I'm not even funny. I'm pretty hysterical, I think. Faiza's the only one that says, no, I'm the only one not laughing at the jokes because I've heard them before 1,000 times. But generally, I'm quite I feel I'd be more of a comedian than a villain.
Well, people are listening. I mean,
well, that's good. Hello out there. Anybody with a comic role, I'm up for it. Give me a shout.
So, I mean, I honestly, I'm still a little overwhelmed that I'm having this chat with you like this.
Why?
Yes, aapko nahi pata na, you are a hero to me and Maram especially.
You all are so sweet. I've loved you from the day I met you guys. You have been so real. I think that's the best word to describe you guys. You're like real people. There's no, chamak challoness and banawat and you know what I mean? What you see is what you get. You're mashallah talented, and that's a very, very huge.
Thank you.
That's a very huge. I mean, other people don't say like, oh, everybody's got this, like, I don't know if it's jealousy or, it's what, they like to put people down. I'm not that person. I like to put people
build them up. I'm telling you, meeting you was the first ever experience of for me and Maram to have met someone from the industry who was warm, who was so receptive to just even saying hi to us and talking to us for a bit. And you've been like that ever since we met. It's always been the same. But everybody else, honestly, it's been very kichawasa and
then people get threatened by people, I don't feel like I'm a threat. I do my own thing. I've been doing it for as long as I can remember.
We're hardly threatening. I mean, we are very quiet in our work.
You're very good in your work. That's why people are threatened.
Just say hi. I don't think so.
No, I do. I think, they think that, like, I don't know. I think people can be very petty about lots of things sometimes.
I agree with you.
And unnecessarily, there's no need for it. I mean, you haven't given them that opportunity for them. You don't even know them. They don't even know you.
Yep.
And they have this like picture, this assumption of okay, everybody daddy kudi. You know what I'm saying?
Either that, or I think aren't we just an awkward sort of nation as well? We don't know how to mingle and talk to people in general. I don't think we do. Like, we're friendlier to the Starbucks staff when we travel.
Sure.
Rather than to each other.
Because they're being nice to you. They're giving you coffee. They're being sweet. They're asking if you want milk and sugar and can I sell you a cupcake. But I think what it is that people don't. When you are talented with something, people are. I mean, I'm not talking about general everyone. Like, I mean, I'm talking about other people who are stylists and makeup artists and other people from the industry. There's a lot of. We have a very clique-oriented kind of society. वो एक उनका camp है और वो एक आपका camp है और वो एक मेरा. मैं तो सबके साथ खेलना है.
I know.
I don't like this camp and champ. Yes, I've got my friends, my close friends, my childhood friends. Yes. Some of them are models and some of them are directors. And I mean, is that my fault?
I know. Yeah, that's what we...
And I usually don't work with my friends because I don't want anybody to say, hey, dekho na iske dost. Yes, I have. I have done a lot of work with a lot of my friends. But generally, because, I can't take money from my friends.
I know.
So, then it's easier to take money from a client.
Yeah.
And it's just the truth.
It is.
So, I mean, whenever I'm free and I can be there for them for something, of course I am. For anything. Whether it's styling, whether it's makeup, whether it's haircuts, I'm there for my friends and they know that. And then, they have, I mean, that's a different thing. But when you're working as a professional, you have to work. Everybody can't be your buddy, and I keep a very distinct distinction between who is, who I can hang with and who I, say thank you and take my check and leave.
People, do they like those boundaries, or you just work with your own?
They don't like those boundaries.
Yeah.
They want a little bit. Yeah. सेल्फी के साथ लें और आपके साथ जरा डिनर पे चलते हैं. I'm just like, So I am very friendly at work. People pay me to be nice.
I know.
People pay me to be very nice, and I'm very nice at work. I'm very professional at work, but after 6 o'clock I can be an asshole sometimes. It's the truth. I'm only human. I want to shut up after 6 o'clock because I've been babbling all day, ego-pleasing people and, chai peeing it, yes sir, no sir, 3 bags full sir. So after 6 o'clock, I want to shut up. I want to be entertained by somebody else.
And you're more of a therapist, by the way. Like a makeup artist and hairdresser. Absolutely. And it's... it takes a toll on you.
Sure.
It drains your energy,
of
like
course.
Emotionally.
My God, I can't.
Because
you have to be some of the things I've heard at work.
Yeah.
Oh, gee, we need another show for that. My God. But, like I said, without all of those experiences, my life wouldn't be what it is.
Absolutely.
And I'm very grateful, and I'm very, to everyone who's been a part of this journey, who's been a part of my life, and who's, it's still going on.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't taken a sabbatical or...
You haven't.
I haven't, taken a break to... And I don't want to. I want to, I love my work. I love what I do. I love making people feel good about themselves. To me, that's the high that I get from my work. When you make people feel, and they feel good about themselves, and that's such a, that's like such a good feeling for me. I love that. I love, putting that little bit of stardust on people and them getting like off on it. I think that's what does it for me.
The look in their eyes changes,
Yeah.
When you're done with the
they're
look.
happy, खुश हो जाते हैं ना, उनको मजा भी आ रहा होता है.
Of course. And they put themselves in your able hands. I see people flying in, actors and models and like big celebrities who are coming to you, and they're just like, once they go Tariq, it's really hard for them to settle for
because I think
else.
I give everyone a little bit of a piece of myself. You have to. With a client, even with a client, it doesn't have to be a celebrity or a superstar. You have to make. If you have to think, is this my sister? Is this my mother? Is this my auntie? Is this my? How can I make this person feel mine? And you treat them as yours, and do it from your heart, and not for a quick buck and pass it on to the little flunky for the blow dry. And I can't, I've never worked like that. I do my own blow dry. People say मैं इस salon पे जाती हूँ, मैं उस salon पे जाती हूँ. I said, and वहाँ की कोई flunky आपके बाल करती है. So there's a big difference between flunky. You're going to a reputable salon, but is that person doing your hair?
Yeah.
No, they are not.
Yeah.
So I actually work. I'm actually, doing highlights and shampoos and, if I have to...
The whole process.
Yes, everything.
Wow.
Hard work has never killed anybody. It just keeps you on your toes. And that separates the men from the boys. There's so many... the industry has grown by, like, my God, everything you see on Instagram is MUA, hairstylist.
Yep.
All these hairstylists that are winning awards and best. None of them have ever had a job. None of them have ever worked in a salon. They have a little dabba and they do one darling's hair and the other darling's hair, and they're the best stylist in the country. Hello. Excuse me. What's this all about?
Yeah.
तो मैंने वो भी खेलना छोड़ दिया. मैंने नहीं.
Does that bother you?
Not at all.
No, not leaving it.
I am
saying
my own competition.
No.
I have to do better than what I did yesterday.
That is.
I am.
That's the truth.
Yes, I look up to certain people. I look up to, other hairdressers. Of course, I do.
No,
everybody has some. Chris Appleton. Who wouldn't look up to him? I would love J-Lo and Dua Lipa, but if I was born over there and I was in those circumstances, I'm sure I'd be doing there.
Yeah. No,
I've done society, I've done the aunties, I've done the actors, I've done the actresses.
Benazir Bhutto.
I don't want to blow my own.
Please do.
That was the pinnacle in the career. I think that was a time after that. Even my father, God bless him, except he was my son, the artist.
Oh, fine. That probably he's like.
Yes.
Okay, now
so it was a big, huge push getting, having that credit under my belt. That was a big career boost.
And there is none like that. Because
well,
that's a kind of validation that I'm sure your family was like, fine, do whatever you want.
Yes,
because that gives you that
No,
kind
it
of
gave her-
credibility,
yes,
your
well,
skill, your expertise.
I mean, she was she knew what she wanted. Do you know what I'm saying? She
No, please tell me
I mean,
everything.
in the sense that, she knew what she wanted to look like.
Oh wow.
Like that whole, I think she went to all the makeup artists at the time in Karachi, and she had trials with everybody. She had a trial with me. She had a trial makeup. I did one side in a very different way and one side in a very different way. One was a very traditional kind of a bridal look, and one was very modern and simple. And
wow.
she picked between the two, and it was a big deal.
Yeah.
It was a big deal.
Clearly.
And the pictures coming in Vogue, and the little bit of one line, it made everything.
It changed the world for you.
Yes, it did. It took. There was a Memory Banks. It's a show done by BBC. I think it was called Songs and Memories.
Okay.
And they recorded 14 shows, 7 of them in Pakistan and seven of them in India. And they were the likes of Amitabh Bachchan from India. There was, all these humongous celebrities. I think, Amitabh Bachchan I remember for sure. I'll check and get back to you on all the names. But in Pakistan, there was Madam Noor Jahan, and she was still alive at the time, and all these, and the 14th person was yours truly.
Oh wow!
And at that time, I was the youngest person out of those 14 people that had, and it was a big thing to even have achieved that. And in my introduction, it started off with something like, if you want an appointment with Tariq Amin, it's going to take you 3 months. And that's how much people had to wait to get an appointment.
Wow. How old were you then? Like when you did Benazir's makeup?
I was 25.
How nervous were you? How excited were you?
I've been very fortunate growing up with my parents that, my father was a hotelier, and celebrities and
diplomats and politicians.
It wasn't a big thing for me. Everybody I knew was somebody. Everybody was famous. Everybody was either a sports person or an actor or a movie. I remember sitting in Zeba's lap when I was a child. It was a different time. It was a totally different time. Society was very small.
Well, you were from an extremely, therefore, privileged home.
Yes.
So, and your family background. So it was normal for you.
Yeah. I didn't
but
find.
Even,
I didn't. I thought because it was done on merit. It wasn't done. My sister was in school with Benazir as well. They were, when they were at the convent, they all ran away together from school and came to my mother's house. And I remember, I used to call her mother Auntie Nusrat, my sister, my brother, everybody. So we knew Mr. Bhutto, my father. Like I said, he was a hotelier. She's known me since I was a child, but I got to do her makeup on merit. I think it wasn't, she went, like I said, she chose me to do it. She, I think, I have to admit that my background and it helped a lot because a certain
level of comfort.
Not only that. Everybody in society knew my parents. So it was like Zari ke bete ke paas jana hai baal katane ke liye. It wasn't like Tariq ke paas jana hai. So my validation also came because of, but I didn't have a choice in that, and it was just something that, yes, did, help me. And and at that time, there were loads of guys, but I guess I was the only one that was, that came from a privileged background and was educated and wanted to enter a field where at a point nobody from my kind of upbringing would be allowed to be a hairdresser.
That was a big taboo.
It was a big jump. It was like, but I think also, my parents were like, how are you going to pay? They never thought I could make a living cutting hair and doing makeup and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's still a thing with people pursuing creative work. Like,
well, I mean, I think I helped pave the way for a lot of people to enter the field, especially guys. This was and when I started, it was something some auntie did in one room in her house, cut hair and get brides ready and stuff. And in the 80s, to be working at the premier salon in Karachi, and it all started with very humble beginnings.
And you've studied business.
Yeah.
That's something I found out on the internet.
You've done some homework. Full marks. Yeah. But that's what my parents wanted me to do. And that got me a ticket out of Pakistan, because at the time, they didn't, I had no idea I was going to be a hairdresser, or I just was, wanted to go to college in America. I went to the American school, so after graduating, everybody was like, I wanted to actually study English, and, do creative writing, and I was really into it when I was in high school and stuff, and everybody was like, I wanted to go to art school. That was my first passion, because I can draw you now. That's like a natural kind of a talent, and not something that I learned.
That's cool.
That's how makeup came so easily. It was just, it was like one class, and I just figured it out.
Figured out shape of face and.
No, well, I did theatre makeup. It was a lot of fun, because in that you learn like a bit of prosthetic, and you learn anatomy.
Wait. While you were studying business, did you do courses, or did you take
I went to. I was dating a girl, Mercedes, who was a makeup artist, and I had one of the few single rooms at college. I just couldn't share a bathroom. Sorry, spoiled brat. What to do?
Yeah.
But I painted my room like with faces and eyes, and she's like, "Oh my God, can you do that to my eyes?" I was just like, "Yeah, give me some black pencil." And so I shaded her eyes, and she was like, "You're coming to the wherever she was working at a space called I Natural, and it was like a makeup stall in a mall." And I went there. It was just like so fascinating, because it had everything, and it was very simple. You put the base wherever the bone structure is. You contour, and I'm not much for all the cut crease and all the. It's great if you're a drag queen, sure, but like women shouldn't have to want to look like that. But.
So you did your own thing, like you had your own style.
I started moonlighting there, doing makeup, and used to get $40 a face. So that was a lot more, doing 2 makeups a day. That would get me into any club that I wanted, and the drinks were on me. So, $40 in 1980 was a lot of money.
Yeah, you get top shelf.
Yes, so it was more money that I would get as my allowance. So I worked, and while I was, my godparents used to live in Vienna, in Virginia. So when I didn't come back to Pakistan in the entire time I was away for college. I said, मैंने तो पाकिस्तान देखा है, मैं तो इधर ही रहूँगा. मुझे मिलने आना तो लंदन आ जाओ. उधर तक मैं आ सकता हूँ.
Meet me halfway.
Yes, बाकी बहुत दूर है. So that I kind of got away with that as well. So that was good. But the entire time I did an apprenticeship with a French hairdressing company in Georgetown, and started from past the roller boy to the jharu boy to the shampoo boy. That's how you learned back in the day.
Even now, I feel.
Well, it's the
One
best way.
should.
It's the best way to learn.
Yeah.
Because you learn. There's nothing more than what experience tells you. In a job like this, where you're doing something which requires your aesthetic to be transferred onto a living human person that can bitch about it.
Yeah.
So it's not just pleasing somebody.
Yeah.
Your client is somebody who can have a reaction to. Haven't you had a client that's freaked out and said, "What have you done to me?" I haven't.
Yeah, no.
But
we
they
kind
are
of work with our clients.
That's most important.
So, we don't do something, because Maram does the makeup, and I've seen how she works. We have a mirror in front of you.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
some salons I've heard don't even have that.
Yes, you're like a factory.
Yeah.
वो एक लड़की बेस लगाती है और आपको अगली चेयर में डालते हैं. Then the other one puts your blusher, then one puts your eyebrows and your lashes, and then Madame comes and does a little antar mantar and says, done.
I mean, even for people who do the whole, let's say, sit in and do it, but our attitude is more because this person is going to walk out with it.
I mean, it's
and
a
they have to
walking,
carry,
talking billboard, yaar.
and they need to carry it well. And if they're not comfortable with, let's say, a lip color, a certain...
Sure,
so
you have to
you
change
tone it down.
Of course you do.
Yeah.
You have to make the client happy.
Absolutely. So, yeah, we haven't had that experience.
एक वो होता था ना एक ज़माने में तारिक बड़ी टैंड ब्राइड बनाता है. ऐसा जी अगर आप गोरी हैं तो आप गोरी बनेंगी. अगर आप गोरी नहीं हैं तो मैं कैसे आपको गोरी बना सकता हूँ? Why do you want your husband to have a shock in the morning?
Yeah.
We'll make it a little bit lighter than, a nicer, fresher tone. But, I'm not going to put ivory on your...
Yeah, we have lots of clients have, and we've seen reviews of ours online where they say, they did what Maram puts a dark base, whereas it's not dark, it's just your tone. And because we don't whiten our clients, we don't prefer them, certain shades lighter to ivory.
This is the whole thing, that wanting to be like everything, that's acceptable or desirable. Chitti chamdi is desirable in our society, and it's really unfortunate. And because I think we have such gorgeous complexions over here, and everybody has this it's a sort of inbuilt. I think I don't think anybody praises anybody who's dark, or they always put that person, like I said, down.
Yeah.
They'll never say, isn't she beautiful and what a gorgeous dark complexion she has.
Yeah.
Accepted people of all race and color. There still is discrimination, sure, but as far as industry is concerned, you have people who are all...
No, now it's very inclusive.
Yeah, very inclusive. But that's what the cosmetic industry should be about. It should be about real people.
Yeah.
Whatever Instagram is teaching you is not real. It's not real at all.
All those filters, especially, beauticians go toward it now. It's more of a surgical interference with the face, and
well, augmentation can be fun, but it should be left in an amusement park in front of a mirror. One of those funny mirrors where you become thin and fat and
big lips and
you know what I'm saying? Something like that should be something you do at some point in a certain place, and then it's over. But this is on your phone, which is with you 24 hours a day. It's like a little appendage now. People can't live without it.
But now they're also...
And technology is scary that way. I've never been a technology kind of a freak, but certain things as a challenge I've done even with technology. I remember once we were doing... I think it was for not this last Wala talent hunt, one before that. We did all the hair for the girls, and absolutely no makeup, in front of a green screen.
Ooh.
So I said that because I said we'll do the makeup on the computer, and I actually sat with them and I said यहाँ पे glitter के dots लगाओ, यहाँ पे ये, you know, like I sat with the and you can do we did everything on the computer.
Amazing.
It was so much fun. I actually had so much fun doing that because it was a challenge. You know, we had these bare face, and I said, look, can you do this to her? He's tick, 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 crack. You know, I was like, wow, not bad. Okay, now put this color inside her eye, put that, give her like a billi ki contact, is baal ko zara aur fill karo. And I was like having a heyday.
Oh, that's what it's coming to.
But then I needed somebody like that young man, and I've never been able to find anybody like that young man. I mean, I would say it and he would do it.
Now they've got, you know, isi tarah, you've got your AR fashion models. You've got certain companies, I don't know which one recently, in fact, shot with an animated.
But that's what I feel sad that, you know, this industry will just become that then.
Yeah.
And, you know, we'll be redundant, you know.
Well,
makeup man and makeup lady.
But the real people will still need you.
Yeah, real people are what is not there anymore. No? This is not real people. These are all real people. बहुत कम रह गए हैं. I think now it's just called. I don't know. There's a huge line between reality and La La Land, and it's, you know, the gap is becoming smaller and smaller, and everybody's so into this fantasy living. You know, everybody's living on the red carpet 24 hours a day, and
because of social media.
Yes, and the haves and the have-nots, and where are you going for a holiday, and you know, it's all become so competitive. And I mean, I remember I don't think I've ever asked somebody, unless you know, like it's my wife, कि ये कितने का लिए? You know, people talk about money like nobody used to talk about it before. Everybody talks about like money and
what you own.
Yes, what you have,
yeah.
What bag, what shoe, you know, all the little boys with the little LV on their tones. You know, it's quite it's amusing. I mean, I can't say how society has changed over in 40 years. My God, believe me. If you put gel in your hair, your masculinity was questioned, you know, 40 years ago.
Yeah.
ये क्या लगा रहे हैं मेरे वालों ने? मैं ये नहीं लगाता. I was just like, it's okay, calm down. It's only a bit of. But then that movie came out, The Truth About Mary. And there's that line, is that gel in your hair? And then everybody knew what gel was.
Something about Mary.
Something about Mary.
How do you find, like, is it refreshing for you, the change in the acceptance towards, let's say, do whatever you want? You know, even men would say it, bas jo. You know, they don't argue
men
much. Men
here are so like tube lights. Everyone is like Johnny Bravo, you know, one big puffa. We live like 1 or 2 seasons behind in what's happening in the world. And that's all these men know how to do. All the little, whether it's a barber shop or a beauty parlor or whatever, it's just the papa. Johnny Bravo.
I don't know why things are getting standardized. Halanki, now there are more artists doing stuff.
No, there's just more copyists, darling. There's a big difference.
Right.
We are a nation of the copycats. We can copy anything. What can you not get copied in this country? जूता बना देंगे, कमीज बना देंगे, एक तस्वीर ले जाओगे वो बना देंगे, मेकअप कॉपी हो जाए. Everything is cut and paste copycat. There's not much originality in the industry.
जैसे in the 90s, when Maram and I started getting interested in fashion photography and the beauty industry, लोग कम थे तो इसलिए उन सबका काम अलग लग रहा था, या वो लोग
of course
लेकिन वो लोग आपस में एक दूसरे का काम नकल नहीं कर रहे थे. Every one of them had their own style of photography, of like makeup.
Nobody big is doing anything. All these little choochies are doing everything. With 2,000 followers, and yes, all these girls who are in the industry have their own little makeup person, and that they just work like that. I mean, the fashion shows are, to me, not fashion shows. It's like a variety program. Everybody gets the same, everything looks the same. It's just like a variety program.
Whereas in the 80s and the 90s,
it was like style. There was style. There's no style anymore. Style be dead. It be gone. Everything is, like I said, that it's like, and mediocrity rules. People don't want quality. They'll be wearing like a, LV wali belt on the tone, then have a 500 rupee haircut. With a line at the back, like a khatak dancer, where it's not blended properly, and a puffa in the front.
So you're disappointed with where we're heading and where we are even.
No, because nobody, like I said, nobody wants quality work. The people who realize the difference, they're just a handful. Like I said, it's like maybe 1% of the population. Everybody is going to Dubai and having balayage. Maine bhi balayage karaya. They do that. Everybody, I mean, who hasn't? Before, even my masis had a chakkar of Dubai, you know what I'm saying? So it all I think, quality of work makes a big difference. Your environment makes a big difference. The kind of thing people who come to you or come to me are people probably who are a bit more aware of quality. They expect a certain standard of hygiene, a certain standard of professionalism, a certain standard of a work ethic.
Yeah.
You're on time, you're not sitting there. We've got to, I think the problem is also we've never developed a proper, there's no place where you can be friends with people when you're like, makeup artists in New York have like unions, and you can get together, and there's camaraderie, and there's discussion. Over here, there's just Smita smitten showbiz kitten, like it's just that. Nobody wants to have everybody feels they're better than somebody else. I'm like, how nice.
So who were the names when you entered the industry?
There was nobody.
Really?
Faiza Syed, she was a beautiful, beautiful model who used to do all the catalogue work for private collection for Chand and Chunni's jewelry. Chunni Sehgal.
Okay.
So she was a girl who was, उस ज़माने में अकबर रिजवी होते थे photographer, Noor Jahan's son. I had the pleasure of working with him. I think the first cover I did was with Marina Khan for She magazine. And it was the first time in the history of this country that there was a credit for hair and makeup. And then we started Then we started doing the Herald fashion pages with Fifi. Then, Women's Zone came along, Visage came along, Atika, Lulu was a friend of mine, she was on the first cover. It all, we got, I got a lot of things started.
Did you?
I did a lot of firsts. But at the time, they were TJ's का campaign होता था बहुत बड़ा. उस ज़माने में Fuji was a big client because of film. For the film, they used to do ads and stuff.
How interesting.
Lux, Rexona, I'd done a lot with Sarwar Musfi Saab. Faiza's sister was in the first Lux ad, first Rexona ad.
Ooh.
I recently posted it on my Instagram. I mean, that makeup is so current. I should even show it to you, because it's like it was the first time that people used we used contact lenses in a commercial. London se mangwayi thi maine to match the green soap.
So timeless.
But thank you. That's the word I was looking for. That's what a lot of people think my work is.
It is.
And I kind of like to have, I feel very good when somebody says that, because I feel like some of the images that I've created and some of the images that I've been a part of are that. They can be from any era, they can be from any...
How was it back then with the advertising agencies, working with them?
It was a lot of fun. I did a lot of commercials. I had a lot of fun doing the commercials. उस ज़माने में, even that the makeup in the ads had to. After this, I did a lot of work. So this caused a huge stir. I was doing 5 commercials a week.
Ooh.
Like a month, not a week. Like 5 commercials a month.
Wow. So flying in and out all the time.
All the time. I did. Faiza did a lot of modeling as well, and she used to do it just so that we could go on holiday.
That was
our holiday
stash.
money. 2 quick ads and then take off.
So did you move to Karachi because of the
No,
work?
I moved to Karachi because after 4 years of being on your own, it was very difficult to. What time are you coming home? What time are you going? I said, nobody's asked me this for such a long time, and nobody had ever, from my family, left the family and gone and lived on their own. It was just like unheard of. It was tough in the beginning, in the sense that because I was staying with friends, I was staying with as a paying guest somewhere, and then finally I got my own place in Seaview and lived there for my God, like 20, 30 years.
And did you take your family's help to settle in Karachi?
Yes and no. Yes and no. They kind of like I said, they were supportive, but they always thought that I would come back and join the family business, that type of a thing. And that never happened. So if I ever needed anything, of course they'd be there to help out, but I did everything on my own. And I think that's what gives you a you gain a lot of self-respect when you pay your own bills.
You worked hard, you were doing something in the creative field, which is hard to kind of prove even to your family. So I think that pushes one to even take it on to yourself.
Yeah, of course. I
couldn't
bilkul karke dikhana tha. Of course it was. I was very competitive that way. My God, I still am. If there was a competition that I actually believed in, I'd be the first one there.
हमेशा से जब लक्स में करते थे लोग, when they invite a portfolio, we would follow the rules. ठीक है? We would say, okay, they've asked for published work within the past year. So Maram and I would only give them that. Do you know what other people were sending?
They were sending 5,000 photographs.
They were sending specially made and specially done photo shoots and books and खास तौर पे done for the, and we were like, why the hell wouldn't we lose? Because our work is just the work that's been commercially printed, which they said that's a criteria.
Do you need a soap to tell you you're good at what you do? I won the first Lux Award. First. I've never been since. Never sent a portfolio. I've never been to it. I went to receive a Lifetime Achievement Award. They invited me last year, then uninvited me.
What?
Yeah. Okay, you know, I keep all my awards in the loo. All of them. In whichever city I won an award, because it's an interesting, people go in, take a pee and come out and say, oh, you won this little award. And I'm like, yeah, so it's a good conversation starter. Now, do they need to be a moral police to tell me where I need to put my goddamn awards? So someone took a selfie and posted it on Instagram, and apparently...
Oh, they took offense to that?
Yes. Okay, Tariq is banned for life. I was like...
What?
You know, like, talk to the hand, dude, talk to the hand. It's okay, yaar, not a big deal. You know? यही चीज़ मैं कहता हूँ कि I mean, what is... Now I'm going to sit and argue. I have to justify why I keep... I mean, who the hell should... I'm telling you, it's the best conversation starter that I've ever had. All my awards are in every house are in the loo. I mean, what do I need to have a plinth made for it with a little subtle backlight? You know, like that's a bit ridiculous as well. It's not like, you know, Khuda na khasta, something that I have to do in an ehtaram ki jagah, or, you know, it's not a religious relic. Do you know what I mean? It is a...
I mean, पता है इन्हीं बातों से ना I'm like यार ये बहुत petty हैं. We are just...
जी उसको तो निकाल दें आप. और मेरी wardrobe, shardrobe सब कुछ बन गई थी. कि जी this year we're doing an anthem and we think you should be there and you'll be a part of the whole thing, singing this anthem and blah blah, and then all of a sudden I'm not there anymore, which is cool. I mean, you know, it doesn't make a difference to me. I came because a friend had asked me to come and do it, and I did it for my friend's sake. If the other friend would have called me, I probably wouldn't even have answered the phone. And you know exactly who I'm talking about.
Oh man.
So I like कि हम लोग अपना जो कुछ करते हैं, we do it with honesty, we do it on our own steam
terms.
and on our own terms. I think that's what separates the men from the boys. And if you like it, fantastic. And if you don't like it, it's okay. कोई बात नहीं.
We'll live.
हाँ. हमारा brought up ऐसा है. Brought up. और आपका तो फेस कट और माउथ पीस भी बहुत उम्दा है. ये कहते हैं ना लोग, इसका फेस कट बहुत उम्दा फेस कट है. It looks like it's going to rain maybe.
है ना? Become overcast.
Like something is different. Come up and have some coffee. I mean, it's still time before my... And it's I think it's Amna's sister coming for a haircut. So she's a buddy.
Thank you, Tariq.
Any time, yaar.
I'm not much of a conversationalist, but you made it fun. Thank you.
You are a great little chatter.
Oh.
Here's the little microphone thingy, my bomb.
Thank you.
And let's get to the bakery. I'm glad you said it and I didn't. But damn. I mean, just driving by was like, I was just mesmerized. That's the right word. I mean, I was dumbfounded. Actually, just my jaw was hanging till here, and I was just like, wow. But this is what is ruling. This is the number. The do number is the new number one. You see, there's nothing wrong with saying no to a service you don't want to do, because you don't want to be responsible or have that look associated with your work. I let the entire country bugger people's hair, and then to fix it they come to us. You know what I'm saying? So that's great for business. Because, you know, it is. I'm like, or jaएं और cut down कराएं.
Oh my
You know,
God.
there's no such word as cut down. hairdressing terminology.
Yeah.
This is just a local.
We made it up.
Yes, we just decided one day to cut it out.